The 2022 midterm election, it is barely behind us at this point.
Barely. In fact, some places across the country are still counting their votes. But tonight, the focus will shift already to 2024, that presidential showdown. Former President Donald Trump is teasing a big announcement from his Florida club. Supporters hope that means he will run for the White House. Some are even flying flags outside of Mar-a-Lago already, cheering him on. Now, if he does announce a run, political experts say there are a lot of obstacles and advantages waiting for Trump.
I'm going to be making a very big announcement in the very next very short period of time. You're going to be so happy.
This preview of coming attractions has been going on for months. It was supposed to be supercharged by a blockbuster Republican midterm. For some Republicans, the results weren't as strong as they hoped, and reviews of former President Trump have been scathing.
There's significant influence from the former president, and I think that influence probably hurt the party and hurt the party's chances on Election Day.
Donald Trump kept saying, we're going to be winning so much, we'll get tired of winning. I'm tired of losing. I mean, that's all he's done.
Trump must also confront pointed criticism from former Vice President Mike Pence, one of many potential 2024 GOP rivals.
Do you believe that Donald Trump should ever be president again?
David, I think that's up to the American people. But I think we'll have better choices in the future.
Trump must also contend with a new reality. Two rising GOP governors, Florida's Ron DeSantis and Virginia's Glenn Youngkin, courting donors with an eye towards denying him the nomination. Trump is expected to jump in now in a bid to shake off the bad midterms, reassert power in the party, and get a jump on DeSantis.
Let's see, there it is. Trump at 71, Ron DeSanctimonious at 10%.
Or any other challenger.
It certainly could make candidates move faster if they're serious about looking at this race. Donald Trump scares a lot of people off, and he knows that.
Trump, though wounded, retains key advantages. Nearly $100 million in campaign funds, a devoted base of at least 30% in any 2024 primary contest, a full digital operation with more than 50 million voter contacts, and support at state and local party levels.
He comes into this not just as the biggest name in the party, but with the biggest bank account. And that's certainly something he'll use to his advantage.
President Biden's campaign reacted to the possible run by Trump on social media, releasing a new ad today.
I want to rebuild our infrastructure first. Infrastructure.
On the Republican side, here's how some of the party's top names are reacting.
The only thing we should be focused on is December 6th and getting Herschel Walker elected. That's it. I don't talk about future elections until the one before us is passed.
Listen, I think we accomplished a lot positive when Donald Trump was president. If he's the nominee, I would enthusiastically support him. But I also think if he chooses to run, there's going to be a process, there's going to be a debate. We'll see what happens.
The RNC has been paying some of Trump's legal fees, and the chairperson told CNN that if Trump announces a bid for the White House in 2024, those payments would stop. On top of that, a Trump bid for the White House and even an election win would not stop him from facing further criminal or civil charges.
This is what I call muddy waters. And for people who are making predictions, they can make predictions. That's all they would be. But there's nothing in the Constitution or no direct precedent that says you cannot pursue criminal charges against people running for president, and that someone can run for president even if there are criminal charges.
Now, as for if we could see Trump facing criminal charges after the 2024 election, Steve Friedland with the Elon Law says that all depends on who ends up in certain offices, like Attorney General.
President Trump running a third time is not unprecedented, but it is extremely rare. We asked a political historian what history makes at Trump's odds at winning. You have to go all the way back to 1893 to find a president who won an election, lost an election, and then won a second term.
There really is only one historical precedent for it. and that's Grover Cleveland.
Because it hasn't happened much, political science professor Tom Little says you're better off looking at the 2016 history of Trump himself.
I don't find it difficult to believe he could get the nomination for the Republican Party because that will depend on how many people are running. If it's like 2016, the reason he was able to win the nomination is he never, until it was down to 2 candidates, he never got more than 50% of the vote. But he could get his 30 to 40%, and the other candidates would divide the rest, so he could pick them off one at a time. So if it's like 2016, and you've got, let's say, 10 candidates, and you've got Trump, and you've got a couple sort of Trump lights, and then you've got anti-Trump, he's going to always have 30 to 40% of the vote, always. And he can hold on to that while they're divvying up the other 60 and pick them off one at a time.
No matter when they run, each president is limited to 2 terms in office. But a lot of folks online asked if that's 2 in a row or 2 total. So let's verify. Presidential term limits are established in the 22nd Amendment. And in this case, it's the first part that is most relevant. No person shall be elected to the office of president more than twice. That means if Trump were to run and win in 2024, he would not be eligible to run again in 2028.
It does prevent, to some extent, a kind of caudillo, right? This sort of strongman from coming to power for too long a time.
These weren't always the rules, though. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt was elected to 4 terms. According to the National Constitution Center, interest in limiting presidential power eventually led to the ratification of the 22nd Amendment in 1951. Pros and cons of term limits are debated to this day, and Republicans and Democrats have floated the idea of repealing the 22nd Amendment over the years, but no proposal has ever been up for serious consideration.
I mean, it would be very hard to achieve a kind of consensus that doesn't exist in the country to repeal an amendment. Nowadays, you could see both Democrats and Republicans, for different reasons, supporting a term limit on the president.
If Trump runs and wins, he'd be the first president in more than 130 years to move back into the White House.